And it pains me to speak of the Steelers in this match because I love everything that Mike Tomlin's done. I love the culture there, and it's the sport the way the sport should be played. I mean, what he sells internally is what every coach should be. And I kind of like their draft, to be honest. I like getting just a big D tackle in the first round, Eric Harmon, who falls in your
Yep.
lap there. Second round pick, that was for DK Metcalf. You get a running back later. But then you look at some of these drafts from the last 4 or 5 years, and at some point that kind of catches up to you with a veteran laden team. Micah Fitzpatrick, throw him in there as well. So is this the year it all kind of catches up to the Steelers? I don't know. I'm not ready to just completely jump off ship on this team, but I don't know what the plan is at quarterback. And on the Dallas Cowboys, with all these red flags that George Pickens has, and they're very, very real, I still think you trade for him and you take a chance because, this is a team that had 3 12-win series in a row without really doing anything in free agency. As one of the longtime execs there told us at Go Long, like for years and years and years, the edict from above is to go bottom feeding that time of year, to completely ignore those first 48 hours of free agency and wait for the bargains, which is fine. But when you're an 11-win team, a 12-win team, a 13-win team at times, like they've been really for most of the last 10, 15 years, you can go spend. You should go spend. You are a player or two away. And the Cowboys just don't do it. They choose not to play ball, which is crazy when you are the richest franchise in all of sports across the globe. I mean, throw all the European soccer teams in there as well. Throw the Golden State. No team makes more money than Jerry Jones' Dallas Cowboys, yet they don't spend money. So, yeah, I mean, George Pickens, he might be a total cancer that ruins everything, but I still think it's a risk worth taking if you're Dallas, because this is something you just haven't been doing the last few years. So go for it, right? And
I
this
agree.
is a good draft for them too. I love Booker. I'd like to get
Yeah.
your take on the guard that they picked up. He seems like the kind of mauler that they need in the middle of that offensive line.
Yeah, you think about the Cowboys' offensive line of 2 and 3 years ago when it was right there with Philadelphia as the best offensive line in football. They've kind of tailed off. They lost Biotish to Washington last year, and a couple of made all pros have gone elsewhere the last couple of years. Been a lot of turnover. Booker comes in. He's a mauler. He's somebody that, if regardless of who the running back is, he's going to be the guy who paves the way. It was a pick that I think they needed to prioritize because they haven't really drafted well at that position the last couple of years. They've sat out in free agency. And big picture, Ty, I just look at the NFC going into this year, and it really felt like before this trade, there were 4 teams that you talk about maybe going and going to the Super Bowl and representing the NFC. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, the Washington Commanders, the Los Angeles Rams, and then it's kind of everybody else, right? I just don't see the Packers. I think I love what they did at wide receiver. Golden is a huge difference. They kind of sat out free agency after winning it uncharacteristically the year before with Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, but I don't know that they're ready to break through. The Bears will be better, but I think that they're a year or two away from really being one of those teams you say, okay, I could see them making it to the NFC Championship game. But with a healthy Dak, with an improved offensive line, with 2 playmakers at wide receiver, why can't the Cowboys be one of those teams that finally wins a playoff game or 2 and they're back in the conversation? I don't know that anybody's beating Philadelphia, but I think with a healthy Dak and a game-changing weapon, why not?
Because they're the Cowboys, Matt. The Dallas Cowboys
Absolutely.
are going to find a way to screw this up because that's what they do. Because Brian Schott, I can't
I
get
know.
past
I know. I know. I mean, you're going to have to win with defense, right? You're going to have to win with Micah Parsons getting 18 sacks or something ridiculous. You're going to have to win with the secondary returning to form when Darrell Brand had, double-digit interceptions a couple of years ago. It's just going to have to be a different formula. But at the same time, I'm more of a believer in Dak than a lot of people. But you got to get over the hump in the postseason. I think that this is one of those moves that was made with the playoffs and the postseason in mind.